Dr. Mike Masiapato, the Commissioner and Chief Executive Officer of Border Management Authority, South Africa. Border Management Authority is operating at 25% capacity. We are effectively 75%, in a way short. We are at around 2,600 employees, whilst we are supposed to be at around 11,200. So that is the reality. So what we have read is indeed correct, but that is something that we are actually working on, obviously with the assistance of government, particularly the National Treasury. We are very much hopeful that we will be given some additional resources so that we can be able, financial resources, so that we can be able to bring more human resources on the ground. However, as we speak now, with the capacity that we have, we are actually continuing to do border management work, particularly the interception of illegal migration. We can indicate that around 495,000 individuals had been stopped by the Border Management Authority trying to enter the country illegally. We've also been able to intercept around 114 facilitators of illegal migration, and that has effectively been picked up at around Beitbridge port of entry to Zimbabwe, Libombo port of entry to Mozambique, but also Maseru port of entry to Lesotho. All of this is the work that we've done. However, we are very much agreeing that there is still a lot of work to be done, hence we need more capacity to be able to do this work better going forward. No, the issue of the Palestinian did not show any weakness. These are individuals that came through a flight that actually left Kenya for South Africa. The flight itself is a South African airline that actually brought the people. And of course, as the Border Management Authority, we did receive the flight plan of that particular airline being South African registered, and of course the people that were in the flight had passports and every other thing, and that is why they came through into the country. So there is no any national security issue or any vulnerability that we can talk about. However, when they arrived here, we had to do border management work on them. The first thing that we do is to assess them in terms of their health issues. We assessed them and they passed the test. Everybody was healthy. There is nobody's temperature that was above 3.8%. So on that basis, I would say that we were fairly covered. However, when they were asked questions relating to immigration, they failed, because they asked them, do you have a return ticket? You're coming in here as a visitor. Where are you going to be staying? Do you have money to sustain yourself in South Africa? And they failed all of those questions. It is on that basis that we denied them entry, and we wanted the airline to take them back. Unfortunately, the airline delayed in taking them back, and that is the reason why we ended up with a situation where NGOs got involved, and we ended up getting a letter from the executive, which is the Minister of Home Affairs, who indicated that we needed to allow them in for humanitarian reasons, and that is how we allowed them in. Otherwise, in terms of Border Management Authority work, there is nothing wrong that we did. Everything was done according to the book. I think let's agree that there is a multiplicity of interventions that we have put on the table to deal particularly with corruption. The first issue to indicate is the fact that we have actually introduced body cameras, that when our officials are interacting with the travelers, we are able to hear the conversation audio-wise, but we are also able to see their conversation in terms of visual. So that on its own is an intervention that seeks to make sure that officials are not going to continue to interact with the travelers and ultimately soliciting bribes from them. By the way, we are in the process of finalizing the establishment of what you will call the National Border Targeting Center of the BMA. That targeting center is where all the feed from all the body cams, including static cameras around the ports, are going to feed into the targeting center. When all that data is fed into the targeting center, we will be able to follow through in terms of which individuals are soliciting bribes from which people, and we'll be able to take them on. Up to this point, I can also confirm to you, BMA is zero tolerant on corruption. I have actually signed more than 54 dismissal letters of individuals that have been found to be doing nefarious activities around the port. All of these things are the things that we are doing as the Border Management Authority. Lastly, I want to indicate that we have also partnered with the Special Investigating Unit, with the Hawks, together with the NPA, the National Prosecuting Authority, together with IDEC, the structure that is responsible for anti-corruption. We have signed what is called the Border Management and Immigration Anti-Corruption Forum. Part of that forum is what we call the proactive work in terms of prevention. So what we do, we go around the port, engage with our officials, and part of what we do is to teach them patriotism, but more critically, to show them about the dangers of being found doing nefarious activities. We also bring from prisons, through Correctional Services Department, people that used to work at the port that as we speak have been dismissed, and most of those are serving time in jail. So we brought them in to come and talk to the officials to tell them, guys, I used to work here at the port, this used to be my rank, but actually I was caught taking a bribe of 50 rand from an illegal migrant. So as we speak now, I'm 75 years in prison for that activity. I've lost my family, I've lost my house, I have lost my every other thing, and on that basis, please colleagues, don't do this thing and find yourself where I found myself today. So all of these things are interventions that we are doing to make sure that we deal with this issue of illegal migration, but also issues of corruption.